Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Silicon Heartland Sessions. I'm your host, Sean, and I couldn't be more excited to kick off this journey with you. In this podcast, we're diving deep into the stories, insights, and wisdom of the incredible leaders who are shaping the technology landscape in the Silicon Heartland. And what better way to begin than with today's guest, someone who's had a tremendous impact on our community. He's the VP of Technology and Sustainability at Rackspace, a community leader, a board member for organizations like CDO Magazine and South by Southwest, and co-founder of initiatives like Tech Life, Tech Strategy, and Tech Tap Takeover. Not to mention, he's also a co-founder of Cloud Nirvana. So I'm thrilled to introduce one of the most influential leaders in our tech community, Ben Blanquera.
Hey, Sean, how are you? Did my mom give you slip you a 20, say all those nice things about me?
It may have cost a little more than 20, but that's between your mom and I. Oh. Yeah, so we're gonna have fun today. I'm really excited to talk with you about what you've been doing in the community and sharing your insights with our listeners.
I'm excited too, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. So, first of all, it's a real pleasure to have you on our very first episode. I can't think of anyone better to help us set the tone for what this podcast is all about. Authentic conversations with leaders who are making a difference. So let's dive in. So I want to start by I want to start by talking about something that I know is important to you: personal and professional development. Now, you've been at the forefront of the tech community for a long time, leading and connecting others. What are the most valuable lessons or practices that have propelled your success?
Well, I think about that. First of all, key item number one is surround yourself with really smart people. And so one of the things that I've been very fortunate is I've been, folks have allowed me to be in their graces that have shaped me. I've learned from tremendously. And so that's sort of like lesson sort of number one. So folks like Angela Mazzocco, who's been a mentor of mine for forever, he shaped me in terms of like how to lead and be good in a community. So that's lesson number one. Lesson number two is sort of just notion that I have a fundamental belief that you can create the own world you want to live in, which is if the conditions that aren't there for what you want, do it. Oh, someone's always waiting for someone else to do it. And my wife and I have always said, you know what, we can create this own world. So, why can't we do it? And so when it comes to things like Tech Life, when it comes to, for example, when you and I talked about sort of this notion of the technology community post-COVID had sort of lost a little bit of energy. And we had sort of this notion of we want to learn some things. And we said, hey, let's just get people together. And it just like that. We didn't wait for someone else to do it. So that's lesson number two. Don't wait for someone to do it, right? Number three is really this notion that no person stands alone. Your family is with you. And so for every bit that we talk about the community, family comes first and making sure you do things to take care of your family, have good balance. And you can't be a good community person if you're not a good person in your house. So those are three things that I think about.
Very well said. This is wisdom that's born out of experience. And, for me, when I think about the leaders in the community that I've had the pleasure of learning from, like yourself, there is a common theme. And, to your point earlier, a big part of what drove us to even start thinking about Cloud Nirvana, it all started with this notion that, we're a part of this wonderful, talented community. And I've even heard you say, in the Silicon Heartland in Central Ohio, our superpower is our community and our ability to collaborate together.
Absolutely. There's a saying, Sean, that says, by yourself, you can go fast. With others, you can go far.
There you go. I love it.
So this is about going far.
Well said, my friend. Well, I'll tell you what, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about leadership. So you've obviously led in so many capacities, whether at Rackspace or through the various organizations that you're part of. I'm curious, how do you handle failure, both personally and when you're leading others?
Well, I think there's a couple things that I think about. And first of all, failure or things not working out is a daily occurrence in my life. So you kind of get used to it. But I do look at it in a couple, two really ways. When something doesn't work, it just means it's an opportunity to learn, right? And the faster you can learn, the faster you can converge on sort of the right solution. It's trite and people talk about it, but it is. If you can swing the bat a lot and learn and look at it as an opportunity for learning, then that to me is a way how you can move forward. The other sort of component around this, and I think for a lot of folks, that are A personalities, they give themselves a hard time for something not working out, and because this notion that you should never fail, and that is for me a sort of personality trait that I think I don't give myself grace, so to just absorb that. It's not me personally. It's something didn't work out, but it's not a reflection of my character. It's really a reflection that I actually tried something versus sitting down. And that's the way I'm trying to be give myself a little bit more grace when something doesn't work out, is to sort of just look at the facts and then move on to what did I learn?
Right. Well, that's very well said. And like you said, when failure is a daily occurrence, and this is something that I think all of us can relate to. I know you say those kinds of things a bit tongue in cheek, but when you are aware of what you're trying to accomplish, and in particular, when you're trying to accomplish difficult things, failure is going to be inevitable. And when you have that mindset, you miss out on a tremendous amount of opportunity if the only thing, like you said, that you do is come down on yourself and you don't look at it as an opportunity to learn. And part of that learning, I agree with you, is giving yourself grace.
Yeah, exactly. There's also one other sort of I think about a 2x2 matrix, right? You go from known to unknown, from left to right, and then known in the bottom and unknown in the top. And I spent the first half of my career living in the known. I was really good at optimizing, but I missed out on huge opportunities because I never spent any time in the unknown. And that's where the ball is going. What's a Wayne Gretzky thing? Why was he successful? Because he skated where the puck was going.
That's right.
Not where it is today. And I think inherent in the notion of looking at where the puck is going and spending time in the unknown is you don't know.
Right.
So why would you even look at it as a failure? I look at it as I'm exploring. I have no idea, but I'm going to learn. Mm-hmm. And so the other sort of notion is, for folks to think about, where do you spend your time? You spend your time in the known, or do you spend a little bit of time in the unknown, which is a little bit scary, but is where the opportunities are.
This is very, very true. Very wise advice from a sage in the industry.
I don't know about that. You still have a gray hair,
John. Well, some of us have gray hair. Some of us don't have
any
hair.
Yeah, touche.
All right, man. So I tell you what, let's shift gears a little bit and talk a bit about tech.
All right.
So, obviously, big part of why we're talking is because we're in tech. And to your point, when you think about Wayne Gretzky and skating to where the hockey puck is going, and that fear that comes along with that, a big part of that is just the trajectory of technology and how fast technology changes. So with so much change happening all the time, how do you stay current with technological advancements? And what resources do you find most valuable that help to bolster your own confidence that the direction that you're going is where the hockey puck is going?
Sure. So there's a couple of things that I think about. One, what I said earlier is I hang out with smart people. And so when I hang out with smart people like yourself, Sean, I ask them what's going on, where are you spending your time, what are you worrying about, and kind of see around the fringes regarding kind of where these smart people that I know about spending their time and worrying about things, right? And so that's sort of point number one. Point number two is I put myself in situations in being part of organizations to learn. So, for example, when I do a lot in data and analytics, and so I became part of this organization called Chief Data Officer Magazine. Why? Because that increases my sphere of contact with really smart people and my exposure to different things. And within that context, I even went further and I said, hey, you know what? I'll interview CDOs and ask them.
Heck yeah.
Right. And so throughout my career, when there are areas of domain that I am interested in learning, I organize things to bring groups of people together, whether it's project management, whether it's agile development. I typically help organize things. And now it's AI. We're doing Ohio X. We're doing an AI road tour of Ohio to talk to exec leaders about what's going on. So just by sheer amount of contact with smart people around emerging topics, and then I do a lot of things in startup world. So that's why I do things with South by Southwest, because what I do is I review the applications for folks who present at South by Southwest. So literally every year, I read 100 applications of folks in emerging areas. And in the last couple of years, I focused on AI. So when I look at these applications, it's all about emerging technology. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I don't necessarily have to go reach out into like different periodicals. I put myself in situations where I'm part of an organization that is looking at those emerging things.
Right. And it kind of goes back to just full circle of what we were talking about earlier. Surround yourself with smart people. Create your world. Nobody stands alone.
No one stands like, here's the thing. Everyone likes to go to a party. No one likes to organize it.
This is true.
So it's the same thing with groups of people. Everyone wants to get together with folks that is, around a topic. Mm-hmm. But no one wants to herd cats and organize it. And my superpower is I'm pretty good at organizing groups of people to talk. That's it.
Heck yeah. And you're leaning into that. And when that's your superpower, you own it, you lean into it, and then good things happen.
That's what I do. And then we sort of distill that into like, okay, here's the nuggets from those folks.
Yeah. I think part of this is, and I have this, I'm tempted to just encourage the folks that are listening. Part of your success is you are very mindful about your, the strengths that you bring to the mm-hmm. table, the things that you're good at. Mm-hmm. And if more people did that, if they really took an honest look at what really, inspired them or brought them, happiness and passion mm-hmm. and energy, and they use that as a way to differentiate themselves, I think that we would be a better community, because to your point earlier, a important part of community is diversity and bringing folks from different walks of life and so forth, and having a team that is comprised of folks with various different strengths makes us all better as a community. So what you're saying, Ben, is very, very inspiring. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. If everyone just said, starting next week, I'm going to spend 1 hour doing something different to grow what I know or who I know or to make a difference, can you imagine what the impact would be in our community? 1 hour. That's it.
Yeah. Well said. That sounds like a call to action, my friend. Hell yeah.
There you go. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Hey, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So hey, this is an intro session where, we're going to keep this relatively short, but before we wrap up, I just want to ask you something fun to sort of close out. So
sure.
Ben, what's one thing about yourself that others might be surprised to hear?
I think I have another title that you can call me called Rev Ben. I'm an ordained minister. My stepdaughter asked me to marry her several years ago, and I did all the things to be able to officiate at her wedding, and so it's still current. So if anyone out there is looking to renew their vows, I work for food. So.
As always, driven by a deeper purpose.
I have a deeper purpose. Exactly.
I love it, man. I would not have guessed that. That is incredible. So, hey, Ben, I tell you what, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your insights. It's really been an honor having you kick off the first episode of Silicon Heartland Sessions.
You're too kind, Sean, and thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure, my friend.
Right,
so, hey, I just want to say thanks to everyone listening as well. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and are as excited as we are about what's to come. This is just the beginning. I can't wait to share more incredible stories with this great community. So don't forget to subscribe to Silicon Heartland Sessions wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll catch you next time.